Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
It's a coffee talk with Craig's Corner. Hi, Jason.
Coffee talk.
Oh, hi, Jason.
Grumbling? Groaning. Hello, Mr. Craig.
Grumbling Grandpa Craig.
Hello, Mr. Craig. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
100 episodes ago?
Ding, 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 ding. Do you have the
Oh,
bell?
I got it right here. I got my ding.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that. I held it perfectly. The face is out.
Good job. Faces out. Not laces out. Faces out.
Faces out. When it comes to bells, it's faces out.
What is it? Roy Finkelstein?
Ray Finkel.
Oh, Ray Finkel,
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Right.
Einhorn is a man.
Oh. One of the best of all
Name
time.
that movie. Name that movie. Text us at 520-214-2219.
I always remember Tutu because the little dress.
Right. So now
So I know that there's a
no
tutu.
one will
I know there's a little dress in there. And I know that the two numbers after the 2 in the beginning are not the same as the two numbers at the end.
Yes.
That's a real great way to...
And it ends with a niner.
Niner. It does have a niner. Did I just hear a niner in there?
Name that movie too. Text us
520
at 520.
214-2219. I want to go into a little bit about scheduling.
Let's, you know what? You go into it. Dive into it.
And
rip it apart.
routine. And routine.
Yeah.
Because consistency is what creates persistency? No.
Results. Consistency
Persistent
is
and consistent results. But you just need to get consistent with something. Putting together that schedule, writing it down again, throw it in the calendar, and then following it. Now, things are going to happen. So this is where the whole kind of being extreme in either direction. Excuse me. I think we go from you and I. We go from having no schedule and just haphazard, and then going, okay, we need to create a schedule. Then we just overdo it and have this insane schedule. And for me, I'll have this crazy schedule that is pretty challenging to stick to because things come up. And then I can have a meltdown because I didn't adhere to the schedule. So it's a balance between those two things. You may have no schedule. You may have a great schedule. If you have a great schedule, good for you. Good job. You can just text the movie thing and take off now. But if you're struggling with that, put it together, but have it laid out. Just like when we talk about frameworks for all the different processes in your agency. You got to put these things down. I don't think anything ever really happens if it's just bouncing around inside the brain, right? You got to execute. And so putting it down either in your calendar, if you have an iPhone, you could throw it in your Mac and throw it, and it just goes across all the stuff. I don't know how it works with those other phones, but those flip phones that everybody has. But yeah, you got to put it down there and then do your best to stick to it. Like we have a lot of things that we do have scheduled throughout the week. We have other things that we're not as good at hitting. But I'd say that we're pretty consistent with the things that we have down, right? Like the Elite Dudes meeting, we hit that. Or if somebody else is going to run it, that's great too. But we always know that that's coming. On Tuesdays we have the Teledudes webinar, right? And we're always on it, no matter what. 10 a.m. Pacific. See, I even know, and I'm working in Pacific, even though I'm not in Pacific. But we're always at that. We always record on Wednesdays. Right. We always have our staff meeting 9 a.m. in each of our respective time zones. So like some of those things are pretty non-negotiable, and the rest of them, you pop stuff in there. Maybe you don't always perfectly adhere to it because something comes up, but some of the stuff you have to be somewhat rigid about.
Right.
What do you think about
Truth?
Yeah, it's kind of back to what you said a couple weeks ago about accountability. This is like the next part. Like
Mm-hmm.
you got to have the routine, have that accountability for the routine. But I was thinking about it when you're talking, and the schedule helps us to really get good at what
Yeah.
we do, whether it be training to get to that next level for our agents, or it be to the meetings that we're not good at doing at first. But the schedule and the routine creates the ability to get better at whatever that is that you have scheduled, and you have the routine. You're going to get better at it. And what do they say? That you don't fall to the, what is it? You don't rise to the level of your expectations. You fall to the level of your training. So
They say that?
if you, what's that? Somebody says that.
No, you did.
Yeah. You don't rise to the level of your expectations. You fall to the level of your training. So
cream
that's
rises to
the
the top.
training part of it. The cream rises to the top, Mr. Craig.
Yeah. I just thought of something along those lines.
Do it. Ooh, love it.
Yeah. I think where it has been most challenging is when we go from pretty loose schedule to, okay, we're going to schedule everything out, right? Then it's challenging because it doesn't necessarily work because you're not used to it, right? It's like never having school, then going to school and having 12 classes every day. Like that's going to be hard. But I was thinking of a good way to step into it is get one thing, add that to your schedule, be just 100% committed to that, and don't come up with any excuses. Don't miss it. And then get consistent with that. And once that happens and that's just in place, like the staff meeting, that happens every day at 9, no matter what, right? And now because it happens no matter what, it always happens. Like if it doesn't happen, people are like, wait, there's no meeting? What's going on? Right?
Right.
And then, okay, now that that's become like cemented into the framework of the agency and everybody's mind, then add something else. Oh, at noon every day, I'm going to email a local business owner, no matter what, right? Do that.
Right.
Or 5 a.m. every day I'm going to work out, no matter what. Start adding one thing at a time. And then pretty soon you'll have a full schedule, and all those hours that it seems like there's a lot of busyness, but nothing ever gets done, they won't be there anymore. You're going to slowly siphon out the vampires and slowly institute a bunch of actionable, valuable time. Because all that other stuff, it's like the amount of times that you just, okay, I'm not doing anything, so I'm going to either look at Facebook, I'm going to look at my email, I'm going to look at my text. Dude, all of that is just a bunch of garbage that just eats up time. You don't need to do all that. Right? That's like the placeholder. And it's funny. Have you ever gone, like, you go to the doctor or go to a restaurant, and instead of sitting there while you're waiting, looking at your phone, look at everyone around you and look at how disengaged they are with what's actually happening in the real world, because it's this it's this habit of, I'm going to go straight to my phone, and it's easy to fill your day up with that. Right. And that also, I think, is a terrible habit. And we all have it of, going to your phone when, oh, well, I'm not doing anything right this second. I better look at my phone. And all of a sudden, a half hour goes by.
That is so true, Mr. Craig. I think that is I've always wanted to do that thing where you put your phone like in your trunk when you get home.
Can't do it here or it'll melt.
Huh?
Can't do it here or it'll melt.
Oh, that's true.
Can you put it in the fridge?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, if you lived in the North Pole, it'd always be cold.
Perhaps.
Does it work slower? Is it cold-blooded?
That's a good question.
If you know the answer to that question, text Mr. Jason at 520-214-2219, and he would be happy to
do some
research. No, they're doing the research.
Oh.
You're not committing more time. You don't have any time, Mr. Jason.
I'll record a little fancy video for you.
Ooh, so if you text that to him at that number, he will record a fancy video for you.
It'd be fancy.
Will you be riding on your bike and having your hand slip
Perhaps.
off the mouse? Have your hand slip off the
One of
mouse because it's impossible to hold the mouse if you're riding the bike.
One of those fancy big wheeled bikes that with a giant wheel in the front and the little mini wheel in the back.
Oh,
That's
like
a fancy bike
with a round top hat and a little eye monocle. You'll have to have your mustache back for that.
Oh, but like a little tiny one, little thin one.
Little pencil thin mustache, right?
Little pencil thin.
Just over the top of your lip, like
the Disney mustache.
in the Munsters. Doesn't he have one? Oh, not the Munsters. It's the Addams Family.
Dude, I love the Munsters.
What is the
The
difference?
Munsters was funny. The Addams Family was like, well, I guess it
Spooky.
was funny too.
Yeah, it was funny. They had a laugh track.
I think the Munsters was like the spoof on that.
Oh, is that what it is?
Herman Munster.
If you know the answer to that,
That guy was
Jason.
so good.
Text Mr. Jason.
Yeah.
He'll send you a video of himself riding on the bike with the big front wheel. Or you could just get
The monocle.
a big wheel. Did you ever have a
Truth.
green machine?
Huh?
The green machine. Remember there's the big wheel, right? You know what the big wheel is with the handbrake and you'd skid out.
Oh yeah.
Then there was the green machine. It had those handles that were like this.
No.
You know what I'm talking about? Oh man.
No.
If you have a picture of your old green machine, text it to Mr. Jason at 520-214-2219. And he will send you a picture. And that's a coffee talk. A toffee
That's a
plug.
coffee talk.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to write 100,000 in premium
Yes.
off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes, it's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be
Well-
awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's
Okay.
520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.